You know, I met this guy quite by fluke one day, literally while I was just sitting in Hyde Park. You know what it's like. You're having a cup of tea and yeah, a couple of biscuits, you know what I mean? And you're literally daydreaming, aren't you? You know, and you know what it's like. It was a nice afternoon and I just thought, oh, you know. And this very young man came up, well, in his 30s, and said, oh, well, O'Neill, how are you? And I thought, well, you know, do I know you? Anyway, we got chatting and he turned out to be the son of an international British star. I mean, a huge star, possibly one of the biggest stars to come out of England ever. We're talking, of course, about the beautiful late Diana Dawes. And that was her son, the youngest son, who lost his mother and his father just at 14 years old. Interesting, isn't it? You see, Prince Harry happens to other people, but of course they have to find their own path. What developed with Jason was a sort of strange relationship in a sense, because he had very troubled demons, and sadly he's no longer with us, so that really spells it all out for you. But you know, from the period that I knew him till his death, he was a nice guy. You know, he just kind of was always inviting me round. He just wanted to talk to somebody, as he said, that really liked his mother, liked the industry, and didn't want anything from him. And some of the stories that he told me, I did say, would I be allowed to share them? And he said he would be more than happy to. So today I want to share this story with you. Morning, nice to see you. Oh, we'll have a wave. You all right? Yes, Diana Dawes, were you a fan? Have you seen any of her films? I like virtually everything she's in. She was such a good actress. I loved Value for Money, which is a brilliant movie set up in the north of England, starring John Gregson, also Gideon of the Yard fame. Just a brilliant film, and she does an excellent job, and apparently created something of a sensation in the middle 50s when she went up to make that movie. Can you imagine the platinum blonde, literally up in the heart of Yorkshire? Oh yes, 10 years before Jane Mansfield at Batley Variety Club, let me tell you. Also, what's fascinating is Diana Dawes appeared with a big celebrated comedian in his final film called It's a Grand Life, which starred he was very, very clever in my opinion. I just thought he was brilliant. Frank Randall, a little bit saucy at the time, today very tame indeed. But you see, Diana Dawes was very clever at marketing herself, or should I say her first husband, Dennis Hamilton, was very good. The pink Cadillac, the platinum blonde hair, always turning up at premieres in beautiful Darnell gowns, that sort of thing. He made sure that she looked like a Hollywood star in the post-austerity Britain of the 1950s. But one of his biggest stunts, which Jason told me about, was the fact that he got Diana to appear on a gondola in Venice wearing this, the infamous Mink bikini. Now, it's hard to imagine, you know, just what a sensation this created in the middle 1950s. Shocking wasn't the word. Some newspapers refused to actually publish the picture because, oh, you know, there you've got a woman midriff. Oh no, you know, it's too much, you know what I mean? Jason told me this wonderful story. As I say, his story is fascinating, and I will share a little bits more of with you if I may. We got it down on tape, just literally sitting in his flat, or sometimes, of course, just chatting on a bench in Hyde Park. He loved to meet there, in fact, you know, to sit out in the air and chat. Well, what happened was when Diana arrived, nobody knew she was going to do this stunt. And this literally sent the paparazzi into, as you can imagine, meltdown over in that particular period. But the story was that it was Mink, and apparently people were up in arms that, you know, how dare she wear a Mink bikini? In fact, it wasn't Mink at all. It was rabbit skin, rabbit fur, yes. And they couldn't afford Mink. But Dennis Hamilton, ever the showman, decided, well, he was going to show them exactly that they could take on Hollywood. You get the picture. What was fascinating here was Diana went along with it, but as she got a little bit older and realised that she possibly didn't have much need now for the pink Mink bikini, she didn't want to throw it away. She was very much a recyclable sort of girl. So she used it on things like collars, around coats and stuff like that, and even a part of a handbag that she decided to repurpose it with. Jason said she was very frugal, even though, of course, she'd earned a lot of money. What's fascinating about it, when you think about that now, is that bikini could have been in a museum somewhere, because it literally did become the iconic picture, one of them, of the British film industry in the 1950s. Diana Dawes really did leave an indelible mark on everybody's lives that knew her and throughout many of her films. But she also left behind a very complicated and complex lack of money. The money's still out there, but nobody knows where she hid it. Now that is a mystery. More about that next time. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.